Yeah, that's right. Calvin P from the DMV. Mr. Fingers. This week in UGA football. Get ready, baby. Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hope everybody's doing well. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you in the back? You up in the top, you down in the front, y'all on the sides, and those of y'all backstage running the cameras and the sound and everything for the crew. We hope you guys are doing all right because it is time for yet another edition of This Week in UGA Football. I am one half of the crew. Mr. Fingers coming to you live from Zagnam Central, live from the 405 with a wind. Comes whipping down the plane, and sometimes a little too close for comfort. We'll get into that in just a bit, but that guy right there that's hanging with me, y'all know him. You love it, and he's rocking the Dirty Birds throwback today. He is the brother from another, the sexy Mother Hubbard, the ace of base in the place, in your face. Colin P from the DMV. How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm doing great, dude. Doing great. Had a good weekend with the B man, and just kind of a rinse and repeat type of weekend. I had Saturday with him, and then had to work yesterday. But that's about it. Kind of uneventful is good in my book, man. Just kind of a lazy weekend. But yeah, got to see our birds pull one out. That's why I'm rocking the hat. Just kind of give them some love because we're doing pretty good right now.
Oh yeah, the Birds are definitely doing a thing. And speaking of other teams from Georgia that are doing the thing, there's also that team from Clark County that did a little something this weekend as well. And we are going to get into that as I can't talk. I'm trying to make the post and let people know that we're on. If you guys are watching right now, you should be seeing the post pop up in your feeds. Make sure to give that link a clickety clack and go ahead and check us out because we are doing the doggone thing. We're going to talk about them as well. Again, welcome to This Week in UGA Football. There was a game. You know it. You know the game.
There was.
If you know college football, you should be very familiar with this game. If you're a fan of any team in college football and a fan of rivalry football, you should be a fan of this. Not be a fan, but be aware of this game. You don't have to be
at least be aware of this game. At least be aware of the cocktail party. Just because of the name alone.
Just because of the name alone, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party took place this past Saturday. Man, I don't know. It was there was a lot of moments that made me feel just like this. Yeah, and there was a lot of moments that had the Florida fans doing like this.
Yeah.
But the Dawgs managed to pull this one off. Lord have mercy. I had the scores up there, right? There they are. Georgia wins 34-20 against the Gators and managed to keep the win streak intact. This is now 4 in a row. None of the senior members of the team have ever lost. Anybody that's a 4-year senior has not ever lost to the Gators.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, those of you that are in the chat, appreciate you dropping by. What's up, Mr. Nathan Snell? Shouts out to our guy from Big Nate Sports Talk and Late Night with Sean Spencer and Nathan Snell. He's on all the time, every time. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you for dropping by. Y'all go ahead and put the link out there. Let people know we're on This Week in UGA Football. Mr. Fingers, Colin P from the DMV. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. I gotta ask this question, man. Well, I actually,
No,
I'm not gonna ask the question anymore. I'm not gonna ask the question anymore because none of us know. None of us really know. But the Carson Beck interception counter is up to 11, and that is just in the last 5 games. The Dogs have played a sum total of 8 games, and
yeah,
only
he's averaging two. He's averaging two. He's averaging two per week. So, yeah, dude, he's six shy of his total touchdowns. So I mean, that's not I mean, he's on not a good look when you got as many interceptions as you got touchdowns or getting there close.
no, not at all. I was watching. I was watching. I was going back over, listening to it before we came on. Um, and they were talking about Carson Beck. Shouts out to our guys, the Locked On series. They basically do a bunch of D1 teams, but a lot of them, I think they're all SEC teams, if I'm not mistaken. This is the Locked On Bulldog podcast. They were talking about Carson Beck, and they said that Carson Beck is that guy. He's got an NFL style arm, but he's not really sure what to do with it. He's kind of like, and then for me to add on, he's kind of like the greatest American hero when he got the suit, but he lost the instructions.
Yeah,
Like he knows he can do things, but he's not quite sure what to do with it. And the analogy that they use is he's a kid that you can trot out for pro day, and he can throw footballs around the field all day long. But when you put him in a game and you put him in a real world scenario, then he just gets kind of choked up. Now, I kind of believe, I kind of agree with that partially
mm,
because last year's Carson Beck, the kid was on fire. He came into the season as the Heisman preseason Heisman front runner. This is before anybody else had a chance to take a snap. This is before anybody else out of Idaho heard of Ashton Genty. This is
right,
before Colorado rattled off a bunch of wins this year, and they started talking about Travis Hunter. This, you understand, this is before we knew how good Miami was going to be with Cam Ward, or how good
right,
Dylan Gabriel was going to be out in Oregon after being, I won't say run out of Oklahoma, but run out of Oklahoma for Jackson Arnold,
yeah.
man. Um, and now he looks like he can't get out of his own way. He constantly looks lost. He goes over to the sidelines and he sits down and he's just like, "Man, I just can't do right." He's like Schlep Rock, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, like that was my concern. I was like, I was met with a lot of pushback when I said that I didn't understand why he was number one at at talking conversations about Heisman. Not saying he's not a great quarterback, but and now that you really step back and look at it, he doesn't have the Brock Bowers, he doesn't have McConkey, he doesn't have those kinds of weapons. Um, the what I said today, so somebody was like called Brock Bowers like the not necessarily the safety net, but he was the guy, he was a bailout guy, for all intents and purposes. But yeah, I mean, dude's got an arm. And the real thing that we've been harping on, maybe you as well, but me personally, the lack of emotion. It seems like, I mean, the kid, that's what kind of got to me is like, it doesn't seem like he's. I mean, I know he's in the game. I know he's got a great arm. I know he's a great quarterback. More of a pro style quarterback now. It seems like, but he probably had more success in the NFL. But it just. And another thing, I think he's trying too hard. Like, I mean, some of the passes that he's throwing are insane. Like, I mean, he's putting them through tight windows, and he's throwing them. The ones that he completes are awesome. But I mean, the two interceptions he threw this past weekend was nowhere near a dog. I mean, like they were right to the other team, right to the defense. But it just needs to. I think he needs to just back up, sit down, and kind of regroup, and not try to do too much.
Man, I mean, if nothing else, it is a testament to the remainder of the team and the coaching staff and the level of want to win by the Dogs. I mean, any other team that's got a quarterback that's thrown 11 interceptions,
Yeah,
they're not
that's true.
in the running to win their conference and potentially go to the CFP. That speaks volumes by large, far and beyond just that one player. It goes to show you what happens when you build a complete program. If this
Right.
program were built strictly around Carson Beck, the Dogs at this point would have lost their last 5. They probably would be 3-5.
Yeah.
The fans would be calling for Kirby's head. They would be calling for Kirby to, for the love of God, please put in Gunnar Stockton. And I did mention that in the chat. I did mention that in the chat the other day. I said,
I
"Is it
think it's a
time
bit
for?"
too early for that, though. Now, another thing, let me cut you off.
Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, another thing I actually thought of, and actually somebody brought up, and I was reading some things, what have you, online or whatever. But and I may have mentioned this before, but I mean, he practiced with Ra and other kid that got kicked off the team. So I mean, and there may be some kind of disconnect with his receiving core, maybe some confidence issues. Your guess is good as mine, man. You got me swinging.
Now I'm going to address this comment right here. To be fair, he doesn't have nearly the same amount of weapons that his predecessor had. No real run game and a defense that is bend but don't break. Come on, guys. Shouts out to our guy, Sean Spencer. One of the founders, one of the 2 co-founders of what eventually grew to become the Let's Talk Football family. He's got a ton of shows. I'd rattle them all off, but it would sound like the Busta Rhymes verse from Look At Me Now, but he's got a ton of them. You can catch him like much like Nate. He's on all the time, and he literally is on all the time, except when he's sleeping or working. But I have to respond to that. If he was if he was a first year freshman or a red shirt, if he was a true freshman or a red shirt, I would take that. But Carson Beck has had a full year as a starting quarterback. And he's been in the program for 5 years. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years. 5 years he's been in the program. This is 5th year.
Yeah, I got you.
Because remember, he was in the stable. He was in the stable behind Stetson Bennett. He was in the stable behind Stetson Bennett and JT Daniels.
I think Vandergriff left because he knew that Carson was coming back. But go ahead.
Right. And here's the thing. Because of COVID, he's got another year of eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
He could very well come back. But the point I'm trying to make is if you've been in a program for 5 years and you can't figure out the throw to the guy wearing the same color jersey as you, then it's not just about the weapons that you have. I mean, it's not like these guys. It's not like these guys aren't on the same practice field every day. They've been practicing together now. We're going into week 11, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going into week 11 or week 12. He should at this point. There should be some synchronicity at this point. They've been practicing since the spring. It is now November It is now like the first part of November. We just had Halloween last week. It's the first part of November. If they don't have any synchronicity now, then they need to just go ahead and break up the police. And every breath you take will be thinking about how you could have won the CFP. You see what I did there with the song analogy? Somebody call Eminem. That's a bar. We're going to put that together. But the point that I'm trying to make is he's been in the program long enough that he should be able to do this. I mean, I get that Stetson was in the program and he had Brock Bowers and he had Ladd McConkey and he got to play with them and blah, blah. But he's got these guys. If I could see if it was the first part of the season he was struggling, the first 3 games he was rocking and rolling. The last 5 games he's complete. It's not like he came out of the gate struggling. If he came out of the gate struggling, I might be prone to. And Sean, a lot of times I agree with you. Have to say I tend to defer to you because you are way deeper in the knowledge base than I am. But it would be different if he had struggled out the gate. I'd say, okay, I see why he's struggling. He just lost his 2 main receivers. He lost, he doesn't have the run support that he had back in the day. He's been practicing with these guys for a while. And not only that, it's not just him. It's some of these receivers. I mean, there have been plenty of time for every bad pass that he's thrown that has resulted in an interception. There have been plenty that have been right on the money, and the guys have dropped the ball. So it's not just him, but we do know that all of the praise and a big chunk of the criticism falls on the head of the quarterback where the offense is concerned. So it's something about it, and you can tell it's bothering the hell out of him. You see it on the sidelines. I keep making the joke, but I'm gonna keep making it. He's looking more and more like he could be a Manning somewhere. He's got that same look that Eli would have when he would throw an interception, like you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't,
yeah, yeah.
I can't, and I cannot figure it out. Now, the other thing that we do know, another thing I can't understand is, and I made this statement during the game. I said, "Is it time for Gunnar Stockton?" Now, I want to clarify that I didn't necessarily mean to sit him and let Gunnar start. I said, sometimes if your guy is struggling, sometimes as a coach, you got to go, let him sit down and get his head together for a minute. Because sometimes watching the other guy go in there and ball out will rejuvenate him and have him come back, will rejuvenate your quarterback and have him come out and do the doggone thing. That's what I was saying. Just like pulling for a series or two, let Gunner go out there, do his thing, give him a chance to kind of be alone with his thoughts, and then come back out. That's what I was
Yeah,
getting
but
at. But I mean, I'm just
what kind
I
of if you do that though? If you do that though, I mean, how? I mean, a quarterback could take or starter quarterback could take that, one or two ways. You know what I'm saying? Either I'm being taken out to give me a breather, or my coach doesn't have confidence in me. You know what I'm saying? And that may have a reverse adverse effect. You know what I mean? I understand the point of doing it, but that's what I'm saying. Like whenever Texas did it, you know what I mean? I don't think that actually helped them whenever they. I mean, granted, Arch came in and made some plays, but then what happened? Viewers came back in. And it's just
yeah.
by committee is not really. It's kind of a weird thing to do. I mean, like too many things could happen with that. But as
Yeah.
far as like what Sean was saying, like he had the weapons last year. I mean, it wasn't like his predecessor. I mean that he had the same weapons that his predecessor had last year. So granted, he doesn't have them this year, but and like to your point, fingers is that there's many interceptions or great balls he's thrown. There's been great passes he's thrown that have been dropped. As bad passes he's thrown, great passes he's thrown have been dropped. But as far as I mean, I talked to the chat earlier about the personnel. Like, I mean, we've got so many horses in the stable. We got Frazier, like the running game. We got Frazier. We got even though we had the Robinsons that are hurt. Branson and Broderick are hurt. But I mean, we got Frazier. We've got Cash. We got Bell. We've got seemingly unlimited potential. That don't seem to be used the way they should be used. I mean, I'm no offensive coordinator by any stretch, but I'm saying, it just doesn't seem that way. The run game can be there, but we don't. We seem to be passing the ball more.
Yeah. Well, and the comparison was made in this. Like I said, I was listening to this. I was listening to the Locked On Bulldogs, and they said uh, you mentioned his predecessor. Everybody who is a Georgia football fan now knows the legend of Stetson Bennett. They know the legend of Stetson Bennett just as much as they know the legend of Uga and
Vince Dooley.
Big Dog Mike Woods, Vince Dooley, Herschel, Run Lindsey Run, et cetera, et cetera. They know it as well as they know Casey at the bat, if they even study Casey at the bat at school anymore.
Yeah.
But the big difference between Carson Beck, this is what I see. The big difference between Stetson Bennett and Carson Beck. Stetson Bennett threw his share of interceptions as well. He didn't throw nearly as many, but he threw his
Ill-advised
share of
passes,
interceptions as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, but the thing with Stetson Bennett is Stetson is the kind of guy, he'll roll up on somebody like you know how Joe Pesci, remember Joe Pesci and Goodfellas?
Mm-hmm.
How he would square up on anybody, don't matter
Right,
who it is.
right,
I don't give two craps. I'm gonna punch you in the face and gouge your eyes out. What?
right,
How? I'm funny, like I amuse you. Like that's the
right.
kind that was Stetson Bennett's thing. Stetson had the swagger, and even if he threw an interception, he's like, "That's all right. That's all right. I'm gonna come back and get you on the next play. Watch what I'm gonna do. Keep talking smack. Keep talking smack." Like that was the attitude, the swagger he carried himself with. Carson Beck, for some reason, when he makes them, it's like he's got the yips, man. Like he throws the interception and he's like, don't throw it. You know what I mean? Like we've all been, if you've ever played sports at any time, you've had that where you're like, okay, man, man, don't strike out, don't strike out, don't strike
Yeah,
out, don't strike out, and you strike out. You know, don't miss the pass. You miss the pass. Don't whatever it is you're trying not to do, you wind up doing it, and you can't get out of your head. That's what
yeah.
Carson Beck is right now. I am not saying that Carson Beck is not a talented quarterback, but
No,
for
not
some
at all.
reason, Carson Beck has found himself in a funk that he cannot get his way out of. to answer a couple of questions out of the comments. Do you win without him? I don't know. Hell, the question was when Fromm left, can we win without Fromm? And then we won with JT, and then JT got hurt, and they said, can we win without JT? Doggone it if we didn't for 2 straight years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have not seen enough of Gunner to be able to make any kind of matter of fact. I don't think I've seen Gunner play. I haven't seen enough of Gunner play. Gunner got some garbage time last year. Haven't seen
Right.
any of them this year because it's not like we really ran away with the game. Ran away with the game to the point where Kirby could pull all the starters in the fourth quarter and go, "We're not going to lose this game. You guys go have some fun."
Right.
You know what I mean? So I can't speak to that, and I'm not saying that we can win without Beck. But what I am saying is that sometimes, it's just like basketball. Sometimes you got to pull Steph and let him sit for a couple minutes and wipe the sweat off his face and catch his breath and go back in, whether he's playing well or whether he's not. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Sometimes
well,
you
yeah.
just got.
And the next question: have we lost at Beck? Yeah, we lost to Alabama. I mean, but that was a good team he lost to. But no, he lost to him twice, right? But I mean, he lost him in the SEC championship, right, last year.
Yeah, 2 games.
Yeah, he lost to him twice. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, like,
Didn't you have an interesting stat about Kirby and his losses?
oh yeah, he's 48-0 with against teams not named Alabama. 48-0 against teams not named Alabama. That's just an insane stat, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting points being made in the comments, all of them by Sean, but
Well, you can say the defense.
thank you by the way for joining the show and contributing to the comment thread, sir. And you're making some good points. But the reality of the situation is, how can your running backs be any good? How can your run block schemes be good if all you do is run pass schemes? And I mean, I get it. I do get it. I think we have said it before ourselves. Is that I said a couple of years ago, trust the process. The coach knows what he's doing. They see everything in practice every week that we don't see. Blah blah blah. I said the same damn thing. I guess I just wondered, like, against teams like Florida, who haven't had the level of success of a Bama. You understand what I'm saying? Against
Yeah.
teams like Mississippi State, who haven't had the success of a Tennessee. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to effectively run the ball. I mean, we have that. I mean, hell, look what we did to Texas. And Texas was the #1 team in the country. You feel what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if we can do it against a team that was the #1 team in the country, we certainly can do it against Florida. We certainly can
Yeah.
do it against Mississippi State. As a matter of fact, those are the games, to me, in my mind, and I'm not a football coach, so I don't know. Those are the games in my mind where it's like, let's get these guys going, and let's get them going in some real time scenarios, and that gives us material to work with,
Yeah.
to coach off of. You know what I mean? But that's just me
Let's
thinking out. That's just
let's
me
just
thinking out loud. That's all
But
I'm
see,
doing.
talk about the defense and everything. I mean, like that doesn't say. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, our defense, as against Texas, actually was running on all cylinders. But I mean, that has nothing to do with hitting a guy from the opposing team in the chest with the ball. You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't. And I'm not saying that he's. I'm agreeing with you, Fingers, about something's not there. He's trying. In my mind, he's trying too hard. I think he's kind of Stetson did the same thing. Which, I mean, that's neither, that's old stuff. But I'm saying, like, if he sits and plays within his little box like he knows he can, he'll be fine. I think he's trying to do too much because, I mean, some of the passes he's throwing are just crazy.
Are you trying to say he's trying to play too much hero ball?
No, well, he's trying to do too much. Not necessarily hero, because I mean, I don't think he's got that kind of persona. I mean, like, you can't. He doesn't like glow that persona. See, maybe that would be better for him.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just now here's the thing about his personality, about his playing that I have seen that I do love. One of my favorite movies is Rocky Balboa, and Rocky gives a speech about it's not about how hard you can hit, it's about
A lot of
how
time you
hard you
hit
can get hit and keep
and
moving
keep
forward,
moving
how
forward.
much you can take and keep
Yeah,
moving forward. That's how winning is done.
right.
And just about every time that Carson Beck gets hit in the chest,
Yep.
he gets up.
Agreed.
It's like what's it, Rocky 2? Hey, I didn't hear no bell. And then he keeps going. And so there is that. And like I said, it's a testament to the team that even despite the turnovers, we're still 7-1.
You know what that says to me?
And
That
he
says to
and
me
and just
that's team ball. That's team ball is what that amounts to. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
but just as much as he is a part of the problem, I'm using air quotes, just as much as he's a part of the problem, he also is very much a part of the solution, which winds up winning the games. I mean, Georgia is very much a second half team this season. This is not the 2021 Dogs that just beat you in the face for 4 quarters, or the 2022 Dogs that beat you in the face for the first couple of quarters. Take a Huffalo in the third quarter. Yes, I use that word a lot. Take a Huffalo, like a huff of breath and a buffalo. Take a Huffalo in the third quarter and then come back and beat up on you some more in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
This is not those two squads anymore. The 2023 squad was a little more uh they were consistently applied pressure, because at that point the bulk of the stars were gone, and now you got just a small handful of guys left. I mean, a very small handful for the national championship team. But of course, and the rosters being rebuilt, yada yada yada. But
Yeah.
so he's just as much a reason why we are good
Absolutely.
as he is a reason why we have struggled. So I'm not throwing them completely away. I'm just saying
Hmm.
this. I cannot for the life of me figure out what's going on with him, because a big part of that is in his head. A big part of that. I mean, because
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's. I'm not. I would definitely. I'm going to make this disclaimer. I'm definitely not saying he's Tom Brady level quarterback skill, but we've seen instances where quarterbacks that were great to good to very good to great, left certain squads, went to other squads, and brought that squad up just by their presence
Yeah.
alone. They might not have
Right.
got them over the hump, but they did it both at college and at the pro level. More so at the pro level than the college level. And Tom Brady was the first name that came to mind, just because Patriots and then Buccaneers and Super Bowls at both places. So
So
anyway,
well, yeah, hang on. So the team. So another comment by Mr. Sean Spencer. There is the team ball. Did the team bring y'all back and get in the Alabama game? Well, I mean, yeah, the defense stopped them from scoring. Every time we were down 28, we spotted them 28 points. And we almost won the game. So I mean, I don't know what we like. We're not. I mean, okay. I
Well,
mean,
of course, it was a team effort. You got 11 guys. You only can have
yeah.
11
I
guys on the field
mean,
at any point in
that
time.
alone is like
So,
he's implying that he brought him back alone. I mean,
right, like, because he could have gone out there and thrown the most accurate
of
passes on the
course
face of the
he could
planet,
have laid
and
down.
the receivers dropped the ball, or he could
Yeah,
have gone out there and everybody run and play perfectly, but the pulling guard that was supposed to pull decided to stay and block and grab somebody's jersey and got a costly penalty that cost the drive,
exactly.
that cost the, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
anything.
team effort.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a team. I definitely feel like it's a team effort. I love
The
how
defense threw the defense threw the touchdowns there, Sean.
I
That's why.
love the number one. I love shouts out to Sean Spencer again for bringing the heat in the comment section. But I love how our shows have as of late evolved into it's almost like a first take. It's almost like first take with an unseen third member just sitting in the background feeding us comments. This comment comes in from Memphis, Tennessee, from JD5 lover.
Hey,
That's our dude though, man. That's our
the defense held them in the second half, but did they score? I mean, what do you want, bro? I mean, like these are like common sense questions, bro. I'm just saying, like, I'm not. I mean, Carson, you cannot deny Carson is not as advertised. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
not
mean
this year.
that was the thing that I said at the beginning of the year. I got ridiculed all the time. Like he's going, this, that, and other thing. And I'm not saying I'm not gloating, but I'm just saying I don't understand why he's not, having these little. I still think he's trying too hard, trying to be that guy. I mean, he is that guy to a certain extent. But I mean, he was doing fine. It's just I don't understand all the passing, all the interceptions. But I mean, we're passing the ball more, so there'll be more opportunities for interceptions and
Yeah,
that kind
I
of stuff.
mean, the more you throw the ball, the more just from the proper mathematics says it's mathematical.
It's that Georgia
You know,
math trouble.
the more you throw the ball, the more prone you are to have interceptions thrown. I mean, I have even come up with a formula. If Carson Beck gets to 40 passes or more, he will throw an interception. You want to know how many passes Carson Beck threw this past Saturday? He threw exactly 40 passes. And guess what? He threw 3 interceptions. If you go back and look at it and look at his stats this season, every time he gets over 40 passes, boom, there's an interception. And it's been the same thing for the last for the last 5 games. But but that is what that is. And there's nothing you can really do. There's nothing that we as fans can really do about it, but just watch and go, well, I hope we win. But at the end of the day, Georgia right now, if I'm understanding the way that things are running correctly, is number 1 in the SEC. I'm not exactly sure how that works because we haven't had a head-to-head with Texas A&M, but we'll talk about them in a minute. And that's where we stand. We got Ole Miss coming up next week. And God, I hope we are ready and I'll explain why in a little bit. But what we're going to do right now, thank y'all for tuning in and watching this weekend UGA football. I am Mr. Fingers. He is Colin P from the DMV. Man, my voice, look, Spencer, Sean Spencer, you got my voice tired already. And we just getting into the first break. We halfway through the show and my voice starting to crack. I'm starting to sound like Bobby Brady. Starting to sound like Peter Brady on that episode. Time to change.
Yeah, me question my football IQ, dog. I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, who's passes the ball? The quarterback throw the ball, or does the linebacker? I can't remember. Anyway.
Yeah. So let's take a brief break and we'll be right back. Don't go. And we are back. Man, that thing has the longest outro. It's like the music is over and then there's just the 6-second pause before it comes back. We appreciate you tuning in this week in the SEC. Mr. Fingers here. Colin P from the DMV. I think Colin might be in the running to take our boy Nick's nickname. I want to smoke. He was like, hey, look, man, y'all done hung out. Y'all done hung out one time and had some drinks and got heated in the heated conversation. Now that y'all having.
I already told him. I told him this. He's much more fun to argue with face to face than online or in chat.
I haven't had that pleasure yet. I haven't met him face to face, but we didn't talk football. We were just happy to meet each other for the first time. Anyway, we're gonna keep this thing going around the SEC because apparently that stands for it just means more. I don't know how it's just 3 letters, but I don't know how those 3 letters turn into it just mean more because that's 4 words and they don't even start with the same letters. That's at IJMM. That's they should call it. Anyway, we're gonna keep this thing going here. So, what we got going on? We're gonna go around the horn in the SEC. The obvious. We just got to talk about Georgia, Florida with the 34-20 win. Georgia remains with just the 1 SEC loss, 5-1 in conference play, 7-1 overall. Florida drops the 4-4, 2-3 in the SEC play. I will say this: the Florida boys really kind of playing. I think they're playing for their coach's future. Despite what he may have done, may or may not have done for the program, they seem to have taken a liking to him. Something that we did not get into because we kind of got off the beaten track. Their quarterback DJ Lagway with a torn hamstring, finished the game with 2 of 6, 47 yards and a touchdown, and that touchdown came after a turnover at the hands of the aforementioned Carson Beck. And He went out with a hamstring, and we would lose hamstring injury. And we were losing at the half, 13-6.
Yeah,
That past
one thing, Frank, is we didn't get into is we didn't have Dan Jackson. We didn't have two of our premier defensive guys on in the first half anyway. So
yeah. Well, it doesn't really seem to matter. We just seem to be. It just seems to be our. We seem to be fated this year to be the second half team, and the problem with that is anybody who studied Alabama enough to figure out how to shut us down, like shut us down,
right.
will obliterate us. Figure out a way to obliterate us in the first half. And now, looking at our schedule, is that entirely possible? I don't know. Although Ole Miss is a very formidable opponent, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Right.
But the overall, just some overall stats. The Dogs did come back with a 28 to 7 yeah, outscored. They're remix. They outscored the Gators. You know what? I do that jokingly, but it always seems to help. You know how they say people with the stutter, you have to find something to help you, whatever. And
Right.
I did stammer some as a kid, and I do some now as an adult. Yeah, I stammered a lot when I used to drink, but that was a whole different ballgame. We will talk about that. But it seems to help when I do that. It's like a reset.
We can understand each other.
Yeah, right. I could come up here and stuff all day, and you'd be like, "For real though?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, man, you feel me?" 28-7, the Dogs outscored the Gators in the second half and go ahead for the pull away 34-20 victory. There's another statement that said Kirby is about to become to the Gators what Steve Spurrier was to the Dogs back in the day. And he's got a 7-2 record against the Gators so far in his career. Uh, uh, Despite all the what we talked about earlier, Carson Beck did hit 9 receivers, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns, in addition to his 3 picks. So both teams
My
had some
boy Cash
struggles.
Jones got him again. So.
Your boy Cash Jones. I told you, man. I said it last week. I think Cash Jones is getting ready to. They're getting next year is going to be his coming out. He's very slowly being implemented more and more into the offense, and he seems to be.
I think you're right.
Becoming. He seems to be becoming Carson's go-to guys, like Arian Smith, and he throws to Arian Smith and Dylan Bell a lot. But Cash is becoming his. I mean, they even got Cash running jet sweeps like they had. Like they had McConkey doing. So I think he's going to be that
Right.
guy. The big thing was both teams did struggle to convert on third down. Georgia 4 of 11, Florida 3 of 16. But again, Georgia walks away with the win. Man. So around the horn, what we got here? Kentucky went to Knoxville and got beat by 10 points. Is it over for Mark Stoops?
I don't think so. I think he's got one more year.
You think so?
I think so. How long has he been there? I don't even know.
Neither do I. I haven't bothered to look. What I do know though is that they're at the point where they are starting to regress more rapidly, and if they're going to make a move, they're either going to have to make it before the end of this season so they can get in a new coach because of the portal opening and all that stuff in December, or they're going to have to go ahead and make a decision to start looking so they can have somebody for next year. But they gotta do something so that they can secure whatever.
I'm looking at Vandegrift. I mean, what year is he?
This is last year.
This is last year. Yeah, he's not. He might have hurt himself, but moving, but he's getting more confident. But
well, I mean, he wasn't. Yeah, but I mean, come on, man. Was he gonna? I mean, you see what's going on in Athens right now. He wasn't gonna get any playing time behind Carson.
That's true.
I mean, he had to go somewhere, and I guess Kentucky did right by him, and that's where he decided to go. So, but Nico Ayamaliava, 28-38, 292 and a touchdown. Sampson runs for $142 and 2 touchdowns. Kitzelman with 97 yards and a touchdown. They're looking pretty. They're not meat slapping everybody upside the head, but they're getting the job done. And it looks like that is shaping up to be a really great game in Athens in a couple of weeks. Ole Miss hangs a 60 burger on Arkansas. Arkansas is still having a great season in comparison to the last couple of years, 5-4. They're even up at 3-3 in the conference. They one more win. I mean, they got 3 more games though. All they need is one more for a bowl game, and that'll be a big accomplishment over last year. Ole Miss at 7-2, 3-2. We play them next week.
See that?
Jackson.
I mean, Jackson Dart. I mean, I'm kind of nervous about him picking apart our secondary. But
We'll talk about that. We're gonna get into that when we make our predictions. But he had a great game: 25-31, 515, and 6 freaking touchdowns. The SEC said you keep faking these injuries, and we're gonna start finding the coach. The coach is like, all right, we won't fake no more injuries. We'll just drop 60 on you, and that's exactly what they did. The running, let's see, the Watkins had 5 reception receiving touchdowns. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. That's what he had. So
not like what's his name from Tennessee against Bama that one year.
Yeah,
was it 5? No, he had 5 catches, 4 touchdowns. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, Oklahoma finally notches another win. They are now 1 win away from bowl eligibility. They're 4-2 in the conference, so they're not for their first year in the conference. They're not doing as bad as everybody. Well, the Oklahoma fans think they absolutely stink because they were the nexus of the Big 12, except for maybe last year and Riley's last year and Venable's first year, but still they are bowl eligible, not looking too bad. But I mean, that's what you're supposed to do when you play a team like Maine. Mississippi State notches their second win. They beat Massachusetts 45-20. No need to really go over the stats. Van Buren had a decent game, 222 on 25 attempts, 14 completed and a touchdown. So he didn't do too terribly bad. Now, the game I want to talk about, though, how about the Commodores, bro? Don't worry. Hey, don't worry, Sean. We're not going to use the phrase that you hate. We stopped using that about 2 weeks ago. Vanderbilt is for real this year, my guy. 6-3, bowl eligible. 3 games from the end of the season, bowl eligible. 3 conference wins this season. I don't think they only had like 1 last year, right? Did they win a conference? I don't think they won a conference game last year. We'll look that up. We'll look that up. Yeah, we'll look that up later. But they 3-2 in conference, 6-3 overall, bowl eligible with 3 games left. And right now, there are some folks saying that news is coming out of Vegas that they might open as a small favorite against their cross-state rival, the Tennessee Volunteers.
Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Yeah, I personally will believe it when I see it. But the way they've been playing, and Tennessee's had some. I don't want to say struggles, but the way that they hype this team up, they should be playing beyond where they have at some points during the season. Some a lot like a team that we normally base the team that we base 99% of this show off of.
But you know what I like about Vanderbilt though? Like Clark Lee came in there and told kind of put the fire under those guys, and making a proclamation about getting up there in the SEC or SEC playing for the SEC championship, that kind of stuff. And then you got Pavia. That's what I'm talking about as far as like quarterback, like swagger, that kind of stuff. And you see how like fired up he is. He gets his team fired up. Which I'm not saying Carson has to be that way, but I'm just saying that it just seems like they got their team fired up, and that certainly helps. And Pavia is just he's doing great, dude. I mean, I can't be more happy for him and Clark Lee.
I did say we met face to face. I just said we didn't discuss football because we were just happy to meet each other. Now, calm down, man. Calm down. I know what I said. I might be addle-brained, but I know what I said, and I got receipts. If I can hit the rewind button, we bring. Hey, listen. Hey, I tell you what, we'll bring you on in a minute. Hang through. Let me get through this. Let me get through this next segment. We'll bring you on. So hang tight. Let's see, where are we? Games to watch this coming week. Hold on. Where is it? There it is.
Did we get South Carolina?
Huh? Oh,
that's the one. About South Carolina?
No, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. See, look at this. South Carolina and Texas A&M.
Hey.
Texas A&M comes in with one loss and no conference losses, and they are ready. They are all but celebrating going to the conference championship. You feel me? And they went down to Columbia and they got it handed to them. They didn't just lose; they got it hand. It got so bad to the point where it almost looked like at the end of the game that they had given up. That Beamer ball is, hey,
Yeah.
look, this right here. This is what Beamer was talking about when Shane was talking about when he was talking about Beamer ball. That's exactly what he was talking about. I mean,
Yeah,
dude,
and it was very cool too. I mean, Beamer's dad was there, and then the video of him dancing in front of his wife or for his wife. That was pretty cool. Cool stuff.
yeah, very cool stuff. I mean, like, dude, they had no answer for Sellers. Sellers was all over the field. I was half asleep when this game came on. About halfway through the first quarter, I was wide awake, sitting on the edge of my seat, watching every play. Sellers had 244 and a touchdown. Sanders had a buck 44 and two touchdowns. Simon had got 132 in receptions and two touchdowns. Boy, this SEC is hell in the cell. You hear me?
I said I was telling Andrew, a buddy of ours, a Florida fan. I said, dude, I'm digging the new SEC format with no conference, no East or West. I'm digging it because I mean it's already a show. So I welcome that kind of stuff. I've been welcoming,
dude. If pulling the fences away means that this is what SEC did. Now, this is the I'm going to say something. This is the SEC football. Remember when folks was like, I don't see what the big deal is about the SEC. The Big Ten's got teams, and the Big 12's got teams, and Pac-12's got teams, and I was like, and what do we always tell people? We beat each other up week in and week out.
Yeah.
The only reason y'all don't really see it is because we have specific teams that we play every year because we have divisions, and then we got our rivalry games, and then we got to fit the cupcake games in there somewhere. We got to play the rivalry game with Georgia Tech. We got to Florida is a division rival, so that was no big thing. And then we play
and there's
every
a huge
other year.
difference playing an SEC team than an SEC schedule. There's a huge difference between the two.
Right. And so they took away the fences and they said, all right, fellas, this is what we're going to do. Y'all going to play. We're going to set y'all up. I want y'all to touch gloves and come out fighting. And, man, there has been a game every week in the SEC. I mean, there have been games all across. There have been games all across all across FBS, but there has been a game every week in the SEC to make you go, my God, what just happened? Vandy beats Alabama. South Carolina beat Texas A&M. Vandy beats oh God, who else did Vandy just beat?
Oh, they just beat Auburn. They just beat Auburn.
Yeah, they just beat Auburn. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, there's some whisperings that maybe there's some whisperings if Vandy keeps on like they've been doing that they could very well open up as a favorite against Tennessee when they open up the money houses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so yeah. I mean, I can't wait. I cannot wait. So some of the games that we need to keep a watch on this weekend. The big game this weekend, you got Bama versus LSU, number one. That's not the number one game to watch, but that one just because both of these two teams at this point are playing for their playoff lives. There's still a possibility with multiple games left that more chaos could ensue and they could still be in the running for the conference championship. But right now, they're just playing just so they can stay within reaching distance of the CFP playoff. Who you got in that one, man? Bama versus LSU.
Now LSU, I'm leaning toward Alabama. I mean, it's going to be a good game. I'm leaning toward Alabama though. What's the line? Alabama by 2.5, over under 58.5. I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it maybe a one score, maybe a field goal. At the end of the game or what. I think Alabama's. I don't know. Just a feeling. I think Milroe going to come out swinging.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, here's what Coach Kelly had to say about
opportunities there in that first half, but you're only down by 4. What was your message? we can't play any worse than that, I don't think. I mean, it's my first game. Maybe we can.
That clip will never get old. So then we have
My
OU.
family.
Yeah, then we got OU versus Mizzou, Missouri without Brady Cook. Brady Cook's pretty much done, but OU still trying to get in, get that bowl eligibility. They are sitting at 5-4. They just need one more win to get to a bowl game to keep their bowl streak, rolling. Missouri, I believe, is already at. Missouri is already at 6 wins. I think I don't have that pulled up here right now.
Yeah, they're
So
6-2.
yeah, and you got Tennessee against Mississippi State. Huh. That one's pretty much a foregone conclusion. But hell, who knows? The way that this season has been, Mississippi State might get some of that, some of Michael Jordan's secret juice and take off on that one. But the game of the weekend, besides our game, the game I want to keep my eyes on, South Carolina and Vandy. The two season spoilers are gonna be duking it out in Tennessee.
The line is South Carolina by 3.5. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Against Vandy. 3.5.
Hey, look. They just beat Texas A&M, and Vandy had the week off, I do believe. So that kind of no, they played Auburn. I'm sorry. You know what? I just said they played Auburn. Yeah. Vandy beat Auburn, which was to be expected. So yeah, they essentially had the week off. But I mean, South Carolina just beat the #1 team in the conference, a team that they were not expected to beat, even though they're a good team. And they didn't just beat them, they dismantled them. So, good on them.
And that's good on them. Good on them. So the game's in Nashville. So, it's going to be a barn burner, I'm telling you.
It's going to be a slobber knocker for sure. And then we got Florida versus Texas. Florida played with a lot of grit. I will listen. This is the first time you ever going to see me do this. Florida Gators, my hat's off to you. If I had one, I would tip. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put it on so I can tip my hat to you. There we go. My hat is on. I'm tipping my hat to the Florida Gators. And there's video proof, so I can't deny it. So they played a hell of a game. They came out with fire. They were ready to knock heads. They said they were ready to knock heads, and they were definitely doing it. And I think that if Lagway had not gotten hurt, we may have seen probably a much tighter game. I won't say a different story, but it would have been a much tighter game. It would have been even more of a dogfight, no pun intended. But hats off. I'm gonna go ahead and, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the air horn for the Gators one time. Let me hear that air horn one time for the Gators. There it is. Shouts out to them. So that's what we have there, sir. So we're gonna keep this thing moving. One more segment, then we're gonna bring our buddy Mr. Sean Spencer on. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest really needs no introduction. You know him, you love him. So let's just go ahead and get him on here. Reverend Red and Black, come on in here. Why are you not playing?
Amen, and amen. It is good to be in the house of the great Bulldog Spirit in the sky yet again, and here with you, the Bulldog faithful. We appreciate you for being here. Rev did a lot of praying yesterday, but the prayer was answered, and the Dogs reigned victorious yet again. Although I am a little perplexed, I've done quite a bit of reading through the scripture, and it made me ask the question that to make some sense out of what's going on with our on-field offensive general Carson Beck. I said to myself, well, Lord, if David had thrown a rock and missed it, hit somebody else, but he kept throwing rocks in that direction, that's just a question. I mean, I didn't really say that out loud. I might have thought that, but I couldn't figure it out. The ball kept going to the other people. Maybe he's colorblind. I don't know. I seem to have seen a lot of face paint. I think he might have come from a Kiss concert right before the game. I don't know, but at any rate, he managed to pull it together enough and the team came through, and the Dogs reigned victorious. And now we face a team that the coach is mad. Coach mad because he don't get to go out and play after the street lights have come on. He mad because I just playing. Let me not do that before coach get fined. But no shots fired whatsoever. So he said, well, we gonna just drop 60 points on them. Well, we see what our secondary did this past weekend when they weren't paying attention. So I'm looking for the Dogs. I think that this might be quite possibly their greatest challenge since the Alabama game. Yes, I know Texas. Yes, I know Mississippi State. Yes, I know Florida even. This, I think, will be the true test. Pivotal game here. Ole Miss is, their coach is mad. He wants his RESPECT. He wants y'all to find out what it means to him, and we don't want to find out because we don't want no parts of that. I don't want the mustard man coming to see me no more. I think the statute of limitations is expired. I can mention the mustard man now. But anyway, I digress. I think that the Dogs need more running as a man, please. More from the run game. And try to, whatever you send that boy to a hypnotist, I don't know. I mean, because I've been praying and the great bulldog spirit in the sky ain't been able to do nothing. Great bulldog spirit in the sky said, I don't know neither, Rev. You might have to try something else. But more running, need to get them defensive backs in order so that, hey, look, if somebody run at you fast, run with them. Don't ask where they're going and then go chase them because you're going to get beat. That's what happened. But I think that the Dogs will do just fine. I wish they were more than a second half team. I wish they could play complete games like they did against Clemson and Texas. But as long as the W's keep racking up, I suppose. So, having said all of that, this is what I have. I have this one. I have the Dogs winning this one. In a close one, another one, unfortunately, closer than the hairs that grow on top of my head. And that's a 3-day-old shave right there. So they're pretty short. I think the Dogs are going to reign victorious by the score of, I almost said 45. Y'all know I'm stuck on 45. That used to be Rev's favorite drink before he found the bulldog spirit in the sky. I believe the Dogs will win this one by a score of 38-24. Dogs 38, Ole Miss 24. And that does, ticket prices do come with a order of popcorn. So we'll have that as well. That is all the Rev has for you. I'm going to turn you back over to Fingers and Colin. May the great bulldog spirit in the sky keep and look after each and every one of you. You all have a marvelous day and a wonderful evening. And oh, by the way, go Dogs.
Thank you so much, Rev, and go Dogs right back at you. Go Dogs right back at you. He said he send the boy to a hypnotist. He send the boy to a hypnotist. Hey man, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
I don't know if we colorblind or not. Colorblind.
He had but on a bunch of face paint. I think he went to a Kiss concert. Boy, Rev, something else, man. Look, hey, ladies and gentlemen.
Matt Mitchell said he was actually the face paint was for the next, I guess, Tropic Thunder 2. The movie Tropic Thunder.
I know who I am.
He doesn't wear face paint, does he? That was the new thing, right? This weekend?
I think so. I mean, he had a whole bunch of it. a whole bunch of it. But peep this, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, we do appreciate you guys tuning in this week in UGA football. Mr. Fingers here, Colin P here, but there's something missing, Colin.
What'd that be?
There's something missing. I hang on a second. I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, okay. Hang on a second. It's right there. Let me see if I can pull it up in here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, joining us for Let's Talk Football Studios in the heart of the 703, the one, the only, Mr. Sean. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can do it like he does it. Mr. Sean Spencer.
That's pretty good.
Yo, wait a minute. Hold on. I got to pull the ticker out because did you hear his name when he came on? Sean Spencer, Carson Beck, despite the INTs, has only 2 losses in 2 years. You are out. You sir, are out of pocket.
Is it not true?
I didn't say it wasn't.
I mean, I think you got a lot more love to Beck than you did Stetson Bennett back then.
You get the small screen for that. Just for that, you get the small screen.
Wow, that's fine. That's fine. I'll have the small screen on y'all. I'll have the small screen. Listen, look, you want to talk about team play, okay? You're talking about this team play and a team play together. But then when Stetson and Quavius, it's just Stetson. But now all of a sudden, it's the whole team what brought you back to Bama. The whole team didn't score those 28 points in the second half. I'm not saying the defense didn't stop them, but I am saying that I understand the interception issues. I'm not disputing that at all. But I am saying he brought you back in every game.
Did your voice go up a whole octave when you said that sentence? I'm not saying he didn't stop them. What was that? Did you get poked in the butt? Something bite you in the back?
No, I'm sitting on my bed, so I'm not in a. I don't have a studio. I'm not in a studio like y'all.
Nobody said that.
It's all gravy, baby. It's all gravy.
Nobody said him didn't bring him back. Nobody. I didn't say he didn't bring him back. I'm saying I love the resilience that he was able to do that, and like when he like Finger said about him throwing an interception, he's able to recover from that, like somebody else we know, right? But I'm just saying is like, and we don't have the defenses we had, like the cushion that somebody else had. I get that.
But that's why it's better for your Carson Beck. That's why I got much more respect for him because he doesn't have anything else. It literally is all on him. I feel like the weight of the world on this guy's shoulder.
There's more talent on there. It's not literally all on him. There's no way it's all on him.
Well, I mean, we have discussed.
Are you serious about? You really think the talent is equal to what it was last year?
I never said it was equal. No. I just said that it wasn't on him.
But that's my point. The talent has fallen off, in my opinion, from the dominance that you've had over the last couple years, and even just last year. So that's okay. So you don't have a dominant run game. You talk about Bobo not running all the time, and maybe that's the play call. But are you at practice? When he's at practice, maybe he sees the fact that they're not doing it. And then you also got to think of it this way. Maybe the running backs ain't dialed in. You go back to that first game when ETN sat out because of the DUI and all the off the field stuff. What have the running backs
done when they hadn't run the ball? What has Frazier done?
Maybe they're not that good. That's the point you're missing. Maybe they're not that good.
I was going to throw this. I was going to.
Okay, you're producing against who?
Time out.
Nah, because he did this. He did this in person about the Heisman stuff. And before the beginning of the season, when no other quarterback was there, yes, him and Shedeur Sanders were top 2 in the Heisman. Where's Shedeur right now? Same place.
Can I say something? Shit.
Yeah, let
that on my own show.
Nah, man, because Colin, you just want to argue to argue.
What I was going to say, gentlemen, hold on, both of y'all, time out. What I was going to say, well, hell, I forgot what I'm going to say. Y'all talked this for so long, I forgot what I was going to say. But the point, I think the point that I was going to make is that discipline. Thank you. That's it. That brought me back to it. I think the discipline of the players, and we're only talking 3 years removed from the 2021 season, which was the first national championship under Kirby Smart. The level of discipline in 3 years has gone from, hey, coach is the man, we gonna follow coach to the ends of the earth, to now it's like, hey, we out here, we doing this, we the dogs. You feel me? And I think that plays a huge part. I mean,
success will do that to you. Success, two natties will do that to you.
I mean, look at what happened at the University of Miami when Jimmy Johnson was down there. Look at what happened at Florida when when your boy Urban Meyer was there.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what happened at Ohio State when Urban Meyer was there. You know what I'm saying? So
It's just Urban Meyer.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. So things do. I mean, gosh, UNLV, not football, but UNLV, which Tark the Shark out there with the basketball program. It's you get a level of swagger that is kind of hard to reel in. But I think the thing with the 2021 and 2022 squads is the little swagger that they did kind of bring to the forefront. They earned that. They worked for it. They had 2 national championships under them. But I'm not saying for them to go out and go running around
Yeah, after the
driving
fact,
crazy.
right.
Defense is
Driving crazy.
But
different too.
even with
But
those
what I-
two
but what I-
teams, you can go through those rosters and name all of the studs on those teams. Yes, you could bring out a Mekhi Starks. Yes, you could bring out Delp if you want to put him in that category. You can bring out names this year, but none of them, when people heard Brock Bowers, that whole defense had to focus on that. Lad McConkey,
Oh, yeah.
I questioned that all year. They had to focus. These guys are NFL talents. I don't see players right now on your team outside of your quarterback that on the offense that are that imposing threat to people anymore. And I think you talk about Frazier, you talk about these guys that have had success. Well, yeah, you have had success in some of these games that maybe it was a little out of whack. The score was already up. You dominated some of these games, but the consistent success, if there is not consistent success, teams look at that and they say, well, shoot, all we got to do is clog up the line a little bit, and then they're going to just go to the pass. That's just a scheme thing. Now, maybe that's on Bobo, but at the same time, these guys are in practice. They see these players playing, so they're making the call. So if they're the ones saying, all right, we're not going to go to the run, I don't think they're just saying, oh, we have this stud over here, and we're just going to leave him cold. I think, honestly, they're saying, I don't know if we can win it this way. Passing might give them the best chance.
Now, I'll give you this 100%. If you want to go back just 4 or 5, God, I forgot how long these guys have been in the league. Chubb and Michelle, which haven't even been 10 years, those boys were studs. You will go back and
Gurley. Even
Gurley.
last year you had studs. Zeus and compared to this year, I mean. Not compared to what it was from like Gurley and those guys. They're not on I was calling Hercules. They're not on Herschel Walker's level, but they are far better than the talent that you've had this year. And I mean, that's my thing. There is, in my opinion, there's a major drop off at tight end. There's a major drop off, in my opinion, at running back. Is it because they don't put cash in? I don't know, but there's something that they're seeing where they're not confident. This is the coaches we're talking about. There's something they're seeing in house because it still has to go through Kirby. So if they're only confident in throwing the ball,
well, that's what I'm saying. It's very apparent because I mean the play calling is centered around Beck. In my opinion, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's the best player.
And to your point that you had, I agree with you earlier when you said that are they playing to Beck's strengths, and I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But the strengths are turned not necessarily. I mean, the strengths.
Well, your strengths don't mean. Well, your strengths don't mean. Your strengths don't mean anything if you get the yips and you can't get out of your own head.
That's exactly my point.
Case in point.
But
I'll give you. Hold on. I'll give you this example, and then I'll back off and let you say what you're gonna say. Put a pin in. Put a pause on it for 1 second. It's just like in the Avengers where the Hulk got just smashed out by Thanos, and then he did not, from that point going forward, ever want to turn green and fight again. He was like, "Nope, I want no parts of that." And that's kind of.
I gotta watch those. You always make those references, and I haven't seen any of those movies. I gotta watch those.
That's probably for me. That.
I watch football all day, so you know that. Yeah, no, I haven't seen
it. I've only seen that first group where they started with Iron Man and ended with the 2 films like after Endgame. But that for me is the best part of the MCU, and I thought it was. I waited for years and years, and I finally watched it all, and I was not sorry that I did. But yeah, he did after he tried the Hulk smash on Thanos and Thanos skull drug him. He didn't want to smash no more. He was done. He was like, put me in the Hulkbuster armor. I'll do that. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead and say what you want to say.
That all sounds crazy. I got to watch that now.
Bro,
he Hulk smashed him. and then did. Oh God, no, but look. So here's the thing. I'm not disputing the interceptions. And I'm not disputing that he's not in the Heisman race right now. What I am saying is just like those offenses that are the air raid offense, where you see them throw 500-600 balls a year and they have higher interceptions. The more you throw as a result of the fact that you don't have a successful run game, the defense is going to clue in. And there's a lot of holes that I believe Beck had last year because you had to double Ladd. You had to put a spy on Bowers, and even you had to put a spy in the backfield. There's a lot of holes that he had last year that he doesn't have this year, because you really I'm outside looking in, and I'm like, who are y'all's wide receivers? Who is somebody that y'all can say this guy?
We got Aaron Smith that's been there for how many years? Like, he's the one that called
but how dominant is he? I know the 86. Who's 86? The guy that caught the touchdown that put you ahead in the Alabama game. No. He's a guy that's been showing up recently a lot this year.
D-Love,
right. Love it. Yeah, love it. He's been balling out. And Smith, I've heard his name, but I've seen him here and there. But it's not like, all right, and I know y'all hate Bama, but it's like when you hear Ryan Williams.
That free play. He was the one that caught the free play that in the Bama game. Yeah.
Right. Love it. Well, was it Love it or Smith?
Smith in the national championship.
Oh, okay. Well, was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. But that's the thing. Between the two of those guys, Lovett and Smith, Delp, in my opinion, has not lived up to Bowers, which I don't know if anybody can. But at the same time, I don't know that they have been able to use him. Like, he's not, doesn't seem like it's a threat. Right now, I'm looking at those two wide receivers that you have as the only real threats in the offense. And if the run game's not working, all he can do is drive back and pass.
London Humphreys would be nasty if he could ever catch a pass.
He came from Vanderbilt, dude.
But Colin, I think that's the other thing that you hit on the head, is that a lot of this we have to put on Beck, but a lot of this you have to put on the wide receivers. They're dropping a whole heck of a lot of passes.
I'm not zeroing in and putting the target right directly on his back at all. I'm not doing that. I mean, he's thrown, like I said before, I kept saying that he's thrown some dimes. I mean, he's throwing some through windows like this. I mean, like, he can throw the ball, no doubt. I'm not disputing that at all. But I think
there's no there's no excuse for those interceptions in the Florida game. I saw those interceptions, and
right in the chest of other teams. I mean, that's
right.
I mean,
but now at the same time, that's where you need that threat at the run, so that those guys aren't sitting back in coverage just waiting for the team to pass on.
But but it seems like that's kind of the catch-22, because I mean, they know we're going to pass the ball. That's what you said. They drop 8. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I mean, I've told you this before. It seems like we abandoned the run. Like, I mean, that was our MO for years. You know what I'm saying? And
what does your O line look like? Didn't Ratledge out?
He was out for a minute.
Ratledge came back.
Yeah, he's back.
Because that was something I noticed in that game. Y'all was getting a lot more pressure on Beck in this game. So much so that I'll bring up your phrase, Handy, that he had some Bo Nix happy feet from Auburn. Like, there was a couple times where he almost ran into the sack because he was just kind of, oh, where are they coming from? From?
Yeah.
I 100%. I'm with you on that.
Now that big number 21 from Florida is one Big Mac away from 500. So I wouldn't want to play him.
That was a big youngin.
He pulled that one dude by the side of his.
That dude, man, that guy wasn't no joke.
That's a grown man.
That was a lot of meat moving. What I said?
Come on. I told him they need to put him in the backfield.
A la Refrigerator Perry.
I was going to say the same thing. But yeah, I mean, that was the thing about the tight ends. We got Lucky and go ahead.
It has been almost 40 years, and I'm still salty that Ditka did not give that touchdown the Sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
So was Sweetness.
Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that the Bears won. I was rooting for them. I was rooting for them in that Super Bowl because I didn't really know much about the Patriots. Little did I know that it would start a hatred that I would really grow to cultivate in my adulthood under some less than favorable circumstances. But yeah, that just he should have gave the ball to sweetness for real.
That was McMahon. McMahon was quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody got a touchdown in that game.
Yeah, and fined for wearing a headband or something. Something stupid.
So yo,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta break this. I gotta break the conversation for a minute. You guys were talking, and I was just looking at the roster, and I ran across something, and I saw a name, and I said, "There ain't no way. I know you lying." But peep this. You remember that Kanye West song that he did with Kanye that he did with Twista and Jamie Foxx?
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Got a light-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson. Got a dark-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson."
Yeah, that one.
Tell me why this young man's name is Michael Jackson the third. He is a wide receiver on the roster for the first year of the Dawgs. He is senior Las Vegas, Nevada, and he looked more like he getting ready to tee than to run in the C slot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I maybe it's just me. I thought it was funny. Anyway, get off my screen. Anyway,
like Michael
got a dark skinned friend look like Michael Jackson.
It's a Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross.
Yep.
Oh yeah, little Anita. So don't get me started. You know your boy got some soul.
Yeah, Auburn did give us Auburn did give us the Auburn did give us the Yoo-Hoos last year. They did.
But I agree with you that it looks like Bobo has kind of given up on the run game. And to what Nathan is saying, you have to keep the defense honest. You gotta have some kind of threat of the run. As you saw in Washington, Washington struggles if they don't have their running back B-Rob. And so
that's how that was our benefit. Go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah, right. No, that's exactly right.
That was our benefit for the last couple of years. You know, we had that stout defense, and then we could run the ball. You know, and you know,
and that's why I say what I say about Stetson Bennett, because what you guys built was some similar to the Steelers, some similar to the Ravens. You have an imposing defense that just dominates. You have a stellar run game. Yeah, you have a stellar run game that's able to control the clock, and then you have a quarterback that's able to play action and go over the top. That's what you guys. That's why Stetson balled out, because of that. That was the team. Right now, Beck is he's not the team. Yeah, you got a good team, but Beck is what's bringing y'all back in some of these games. Some of these games where nothing else is working, he does a little bit, but he gets it done. Now, it's not going to be Heisman anymore. We know that. Interceptions took him out of that conversation. But if you look at some of the characteristics that you see on the team, he is what's keeping y'all like extremely relevant right now. Like, I feel like Bama showed and other teams showed that your defense, your secondary can be exposed, except with the exception of number 11 on your defense. Is that the dude that was just balling out towards the end? Yeah, he's a monster, but everybody else is, and Starks in the league.
Malachi, he's still
Malachi is still playing.
He's still there. Yeah. So those two guys, those are your big name guys, but you don't have a Big Baby. You don't have a Jalen Carter. You don't have a
God, I miss
N'Kobe Dean.
You talk about Jalen Walker.
No.
Jordan Davis.
Number 11, Jalen Walker.
Okay. Well, yeah, you don't have any of those guys anymore. You know what I mean? Who's the other guy that came out in 2022?
Which one?
Wasn't there a Carter?
N'Kobe Dean.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter.
Was Jalen Carter?
His first name was Jalen also. Jalen Carter. You talking about?
That's what I was talking about.
You talking about dude that tried to dive under the center and catch the ball with it?
No, the guy that picked up JD5 one arm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He also last year as a nose guard. I think he was playing nose guard. Remember, he tried to dive under the center because he knew they was going to spike the ball. He tried to intercept the ball and almost did it.
Oh yeah. All the guys that went to Philly. Thank you very much. But that's the
Hey,
thing.
blame
You
that
guys
on your
had
front office,
studs.
man.
I'm good with what we're doing right now. We had to go to LSU to get our love. It's all good. It's all good. But no, but that's the thing that I think.
SEC boy coming to the SEC to get that talent.
Hey, we like Big Ten as well. That Sam Steele's the best guy. But look, that's the thing that I think is the biggest difference for you guys. There is not a guy that you can just lean to. Colin, you mentioned it. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, where you go back to a year or two ago, and one of the defenders didn't make a play, and then the Kobe Dean or whoever ran right over to him, gets in his face, and is cussing him out on the field. You know what I mean? And then he gets an earful from Kirby on the sidelines. You don't have a lot of that. Yeah,
right.
You don't have that this year.
We don't have any of it.
Right. I would expect Carson would be that guy, but he's extremely quiet, and he is who he is. I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he got hyped at the end of the Bama game after they came all the way back, but he doesn't get it to you consistently.
Here's something I noticed. One of the biggest problems now is with some programs is that you don't have a lot of that nobody wants to hold their teammates accountable anymore. It's like, I can't wait till I make my next big play so I can show off my next big play celebration. Dude, you knock down a pass 2 minutes into the first quarter. There's still 58 minutes worth of football left to play. If I see you get burnt on a play, if I see somebody 10-toe you because you get caught by a block, I'm clowning you for the rest of the week on social media because you did the whole little celebration because you knocked down a pass. Go sit down somewhere. Go help your boy. Go talk to your boy and get him straight.
Yeah. We don't have that.
And that might be, and that we don't know when the NIL really, really took over, because that might be one of the things.
Is that kind of an issue?
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it has to be an issue realistically, because it's like, if you're now all of a sudden getting $250,000 or $1 million or whatever you're getting, now somebody said it used to be that they'd go out in the parking lot and you'd see, somebody's parents' old beat up minivan and all this. And now it's like a daggone car dealership because everybody's got cars and whatnot. Right. So if I don't succeed on the field, I've already got money in the bank. I'm already driving my joint. I'm good to go. And a lot of these guys, if you'll notice, some of the guys, if you look at the combine, you have guys that have played. Stetson Bennett, prime example, 2 national championships, did everything he needed to do, but didn't get picked to the 6th round. Now, why is that? Because what did he do in the combine? His combine numbers weren't as great. And yet you see some guys from random places who have great combines that are coming up, and now they're shooting up the draft board. Even JD5 wasn't even a first. Well, some people don't, because their stock is so high. But there's some of these guys that come in and they ball out in the combine. Like, you guys knew Big O, but Big O wasn't Bowers. And I'm gonna use Bowers as the bar.
For sure.
But what he did in the combine definitely got the attention of Mike Tomlin and brought him into Pittsburgh, which is a perfect spot for him.
And he done put on some more weight since he left UGA. He eating good since he's getting some big checks. But he's still out there trying. That don't stop him from trying to hurdle people.
He might be a lineman, man. He just huge.
He might as well be. I like I like little Michael. You did my nose, man. But
that's the thing. You got a lot of different things playing into it, and the fact that
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I wasn't trying to cut you off, but finish your statement, and then we'll go into my question.
Oh no, I was gonna say you got a lot of things playing into it, and the fact that everybody else is kind of raising up a little bit. You've seen it doesn't matter in the actual outcomes. They're still winning all those games, but at the same time, the level of talent is raising up, and then there is something that's said to be like Bama, where Bama won the titles, and then all of a sudden, if Saban, as we've seen, wasn't there, what are they doing? The players expect to be great, but if you don't have that extra, the nothing speech that Saban said, you know what I mean? Nobody's gonna give you nothing. You got to earn it. You got to work for it. You got to do all that stuff. If you don't have that fire in you, and if you
I think we got a lot of good players and very few great players, though. I mean,
Yep.
like that's what I'm saying, that could be. I mean, that to your
But
point. I mean,
what does
Oh, yeah.
that? I think, and then too, where the distribution of talent and the parity is in it, well, just speaking SEC football, to the point that there really isn't a singular dominant team in the conference. There are a
True.
bunch of really good teams, but the days of Georgia running the table and going to the championship, what they did for a couple of years there, or Alabama running the table and going to the championship, or LSU running the table and going to the championship. This year, there's not an undefeated team. This is the first year in God knows when I can remember where there was not a like
yeah.
we're still 4 or 5 games out from the end of the season, and there is not one single undefeated team in the conference.
And I think that's due to getting rid of the East and West conferences. I mean, we're playing people
what I
like
think.
we played Bama. Early, we played Bama like every 3-4 years, and
Mhm.
put them on. I mean, I've been wanting to put to be the best. You got to beat the best. You know what I mean? You put the. I mean, put us all together. I've been happy as hell.
And now
it.
we playing them twice in 2 years. What?
That's
Let's
crazy.
go.
But
Let's
that's it though.
go.
That's
And
the
then Vandy,
difference.
look.
You didn't have those matchups, and then
Yeah,
and
look
the
at Vandy right
matchups you
now. I
have
mean,
coming forward. Yeah,
I'm loving this. I'm loving this whole home and home series now. It's just I gotta wait for the home and home series with Oklahoma, because I will definitely be down there in my red and black cutting the damn
Mhm.
fool.
I'll come see you. When's that happening? We're not playing them next year, are we?
Nah, we got home, and basically everybody we play this year, the home and the series flips, and then the following year in 2026 will be. I think we play them in 26.
Sean, let's load up and go, bro.
All right, bet.
We got to take
Bet
it, but
money.
I don't know if you want to go to the Florida game, Florida game now.
Bro, after all those police
I
videos
don't,
I
I don't
saw,
think I don't think I can talk you into it now.
What? Going down south to Florida or Georgia? You don't think I want to go do that? I've been down there. Kat and I drove down south. It's a fun place when you have a white girlfriend.
It's fun in general. Like I said, we go down straight down to like my parents' house and that kind of stuff.
Dig it.
Don't you like Gators,
Don't-
man? We'll take you out to
They-
Cook and put you on the boat.
They don't live in Butts County, do they?
I gotta go. My mama called
Okay.
me. She said I
No,
can't play
remember
with
with
y'all no
Sean
more.
Kennedy. Remember I said Sean Camp Daily.
Okay. I had a buddy that lived at Butts County, and
I don't even know what that
he
is.
took me down there one time. Oh yeah, he took me down there one time, and I ain't going back to that spot.
I can understand. There's places like
Butts
that.
County. That's
It's
just said.
what-
You already know.
but you trying to say Butts County is one of those places where you have to go 30 miles down the road to get your pie?
Hmm.
Exactly. Ma'am,
Hmm.
can we get some pie?
Look, you go 30 yards, 30 miles down the road, you might see a couple jokers hanging and stuff, man. I ain't
What was that guy's name? Billy, can we get some pie? How'd you know my name?
Well, it's on your name tag, sir.
Right there on your suit.
So you say 30 miles till you get. Okay, we thank you.
How you turn
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into what may potentially be the last this weekend.
Yeah, right.
We appreciate it. Oh man, we cutting up tonight, but we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We've had a few folks in the comments. Mr. Sean Spencer, sir, we appreciate you joining us. We're not done. We're gonna go ahead and give our closing thoughts, and then we're gonna close it out. I almost got ahead of myself. So jeez. You know what? I don't have anything. You know what? I got one for you. First of all, I would like to send a happy anniversary shouts out to my blushing bride of 13 years. Today is our 13th anniversary. So
Nice.
she bought dinner, and I got her she now is her own Funko Pop. It's her in a little Dallas Cowboy shirt holding the football with a little miniature Luna. And we had dinner from our first date place. We're gonna have to figure out a way for Outback to never go out of business, because that's where we went on our very first date. And I'm gonna go in the room. We probably just go sit down and watch some TV. That's what you do when you get 50 and you work all day, and your anniversary is during the middle of the week. Now we are going to go out this weekend. I'm not gonna say where we're going or what we're gonna do because she may be watching it. She may watch the video later trying to get clues. She's like, "What are we doing? Where are we going? Is it someplace?" She's trying to get clues. She trying to get clues. Like, is it someplace I gotta stand up for a long time? Am I gonna sit for a long time? I said, just chill. I got it. So, but
Happy
yeah,
anniversary.
yes, I wanted to say that.
Mahomes just got hurt.
Was that? Oh,
Mahomes just got hurt.
uh-oh. But I wanted to say this, and we talk about this a lot, but it's something that's becoming more and more prevalent for me as I'm aging, and Colin as well. I had a neighbor that lived down the street. He lived 3 houses down the street to the left of us, from across the street. He was a trouble guy. Not in a real bad way. He served in the military. It's some stuff he had. Drank a lot. Sometimes he had a little bit of an anger problem. He and his wife split up. He moved out of the neighborhood, I want to say 4 months ago. But he and I kept in touch. And I just found out over the weekend that he passed away. And been losing a lot of people here lately. I mean, we've seen it on the celebrity side. But by the way, rest in peace to the great Quincy Delight Jones. If any of you are watching this segment of the show right now, Quincy Jones is more than just Thriller. Quincy Jones wrote the theme song to Sanford and Son. Quincy Jones wrote the theme music for Austin Powers. That's him. He's literally directing his own orchestra. He produced We Are the World. He and Michael produced We Are the World. Michael and Lionel Richie wrote it, and he produced it. And they, in a span of 48 hours, they conspired to get all these people together in one night. They recorded it in one night. Watch the documentary on Netflix. It was a who's who of people that they asked to be on that wound up showing up. Who's who at that time. There's a pretty funny story behind Waylon. You know, Waylon Jennings was supposed to be part of that project and he left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, the whole thing was they were trying to come up, you know, when you get a group of people together and they all want to pitch in their ideas. And Stevie Wonder wanted to do a verse in Swahili, and Waylon Jennings was like, "I ain't singing in no damn Swahili." And he got up and he left.
Hey, real quick. Did you see the documentary? Did you see when Bruce Springsteen did it? And then Michael Jackson is right beside him. He looked at him like, "What the hell?" Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Now, on the flip side of that, Stevie Wonder being blind, you know, he's an incredible mimic. He actually taught Bob Dylan, because Bob totally out of his element. He's a folk singer. He sang it to Bob, like as Bob Dylan singing it, and that's how Bob got his part. But yeah, but anyway, Quincy Jones, an absolutely amazing musician and entrepreneur. It's because of him that we saw this rapper from West Philadelphia become a television star and eventually a movie megastar, because it was part of his brainchild to put together Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So
and then slap Chris Rock.
Right, and then turn around and slap Chris Rock.
Keep my wife
right. Name out
your mouth.
Right. So rest in peace to the late great Quincy Jones. Not to mention, he gave us one of the greatest love anthems that I think a lot of children were born to. I don't know if I had to cut that out later on when I play the replay. A lot of children may have been conceived to in The Secret Garden, which was, good God, one of the best love songs of the 90s. It started out with the heavy hitters that he was just able to put together by going, "Hey, I want to do this project." So rest in peace to Quincy Jones. Anyway, I digress. My point is that the longer you live, the shorter that you realize life is, and take time to just, if it ain't nothing but "Hey, I was just thinking about you" text, or "Hey, you got some time to talk?" Because a lot of us say we don't have free time, and really we're lying. There's only a small handful of people that keep moving all the time, have something to do. Pick up the phone and call them and talk and spend some time with them. "Hey, let's get some coffee, let's catch up," that kind of thing, because I saw that man every day, just about. Yeah. And then he moved out of the neighborhood and we kept in contact, but we didn't get to see each other every day. And I hadn't talked to him in a month. and I went to reach out to him and didn't get a hold of him, and something told me to Google him. And when I Googled him, the first thing that popped up was his obituary. And I will not ever get to talk to him again. So just take the time. I'm going to say this at least 3-4 times a year on every platform, and I'm not going to stop saying it. Appreciate the people you have while you have them, because once they're gone, they are gone. There is no tomorrow when they're gone. There is no, oh, I'll pick up the phone and call them when I'm not so busy. When they're gone, you will say to yourself, I wish I had picked up the phone. Something will come up, I guarantee it, 6 months down the road, and you'll say, man, they really would have laughed at that. I'm sorry I didn't take the time and do it now while you got them, because the last thing you want to be is sorry that you didn't. And I'm done talking. Who next?
Who that? I'll jump on it. So yeah, that's and y'all wonder why I flood y'all behind with a bunch of like stuff in the chats and stuff. So I don't know when, when I'm gonna see you guys, but no, absolutely, fingers that yeah, we talk about it a lot. Just like we become the age where it's the age, man. Like, I mean, not necessarily. You have some people just get out of the picture and things happen, but we're at that age. Is like I said, the two things are forever: death and taxes, are for certain. Yeah. I always say, like, make sure the people that you love know that you love them. And then, if you have like you said, if you have a notion or an inkling to call somebody, do it right then. Because I mean, you'll wish you did. Yeah, I mean, that's something to think on, because we've talked about it a lot, Anthony, about the age we are now, and my folks, that kind of stuff, AJR. But yep, enjoy life while you got it, and enjoy the people that's around you, and like what Springer says, take care of yourself and and each other. But I mean, there's a real deal to that. So, but yeah, I'm done, man.
No, I can dig it. First of all, let me thank you for letting me come on this show. And I came in guns a blazing, and y'all we were able to talk it out. Hey, I can still go. We can still talk about it right now, but no, I definitely appreciate that. And I'm just gonna say that to piggyback with,
you came in here like your name was John Wick, and we had just killed your dog.
Hey, I was dodging. I was doing Matrix. I was doing Nemo.
Trinity,
I'm doing
help.
I'm doing that new celebration that everybody seemed to do.
Right.
I hate that. I hate that. Yeah.
People don't know how to do it.
Yeah. Honestly, thank you for that. Always love that conversation, especially with you guys, because you guys follow Georgia all year round. So, or at least all season round. So I love talking that, because I want to know. I'm just curious like that. So I say that to say, stay curious. Always stay curious. Never, you guys are older than me, but never too old to learn stuff. Never too old to stay involved, and don't be afraid to have conversations. Tomorrow is election day, and I know some of us. I already did. We early voted. A lot of people are going to go there tomorrow, and the way we are in this country, I've tried my hardest to reach across to talk to any and everybody, because personally, elections, history, all this stuff is so fascinating to me. I love watching it. I love being part of it. My whole block is, after the show, of course, tomorrow, is all going to be watching election, do the whole thing. That's just a huge, huge deal to me. But one thing I want to say about that is your vote is your voice. So definitely do that. But the other thing is, we're still going to be here November 6th and November 7th and November 8th and all that stuff. So regardless of who you vote for, regardless of what direction you go in, we still got to be able to have a conversation and come together, because each candidate is going to say whatever they want to say. All these politicians are going to say whatever they want to say. But newsflash, they still getting paid. Their pockets are still being lined. And at the end of the day, they still go back to their high houses and everything. And we're still down here struggling and doing all this stuff that we got to do. So at the end of the day, only thing they're trying to do is divide and conquer. Well, what we got to do is come together. We have to be able to have that conversation. That's why I love that y'all brought me on here, because you saw I was coming for blood in the comments, but y'all brought me on here. We talked it out, and that's the only thing that's going to make this country a better place. That's why we created Let's Talk Football. Football, yes, but you have to have that conversation. So let's talk, people. We got to, because the way things are looking,
Sean, I was telling somebody the other day, it's like they were like, who was it? I can't remember, but they were upset that somebody wouldn't talk to them. I said, man, that's my wheelhouse. I said, I talk to a wall. I said, that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's what, if I walk, that's my job. I'm on the phone. If like somebody's having a bad day or whatever, I will bet with myself that I could get them to laugh about something, just make a stupid comment or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know me, I mean, that's how
if I go to the bathroom, you just pick up and talk to the girl that's sitting next to you. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I feel bad about that. Not really.
Wow. I was trying to talk to her, man. You said that did your thing.
I didn't know.
Did you find her? Really? Did you find her though? Did you find her? Have you seen her?
But she was one of the people that was like, you may know. And I was like, yo, what's up? Nothing back.
She was dope. She was dope for sure. She's a Cowboys fan, so can't really do that. And Handy, man, definitely, we already cleared the spot, so you got the invite tomorrow to come in. Just keep bringing Janae down in her misery for her Cowboys this year. So,
and Sean, you need to get your behind over.
Bruh, you had no idea. I was like, yo, let's go.
She ain't really been answering my calls recently, so tomorrow might be the first time I see her in a while. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna go ahead, Andy. Just do your thing, man. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna sit back.
Man, I tell you what. Hey, look, I was at work today, right? I share this with y'all, then we're gonna sign off. So I'm at work today, and this dude walked up to me, and I got this on because it's raining, it's a little chilly outside. And dude walked by and said, "Hey man, you got something on your shirt?" And I was like, "Oh." I said, "No, I don't have nothing on my shirt." He said, "No, it's like right on your chest." And I was like, "The hell are you talking about?" Man, if you don't get out my face with that nonsense, because it was right then when I saw he had the Boomer Sooner and stuff on. I was like,
all I see is champions. That's what I said. Former.
Wait, I was about to say, I know he ain't talking. I can't defend him right now.
Oh man, yeah. It be your own people sometimes, don't it? It be your own people sometimes.
Looks like a goofy.
Yeah, I'm just clowning on myself. That's all. Man, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we do appreciate y'all tuning in to us today. Makes it better no matter how good it is. We appreciate you, man.
Andy, we didn't hear any of that.
What? Didn't hear none of what?
Once the clapping, you couldn't hear anything.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. No, I'm saying once the clapping went on, it drowned your voice out.
Oh, goodbye, Kabise. Goodbye, Kabise. Okay. And we thank you all for joining the show today. Watching. Sean, we appreciate having you on. Every time you come on the show, it always makes it better no matter how good a show we're having. So we do appreciate you. You know where to find him. Like I said, all you got to do is look up Let's Talk Football, Sean Spencer, and 800 different shows. It's almost like Sean is like the Tyler Perry of podcasts. Like he got plays and shows and short videos and long videos.
I don't wear dresses.
You understand what I'm trying to say. The man got 8 million and different things going on at one time.
You do. You guys can follow me. Look, you can follow me at Carson Beck for Heisman.com. That's where I'll be.
I was gonna say something else, but I ain't.
I'll be the only vote. One vote. Here you go, Carson.
I don't remember seeing you in them Heisman House commercials. Anyway,
you don't need no Heisman. He got it from Monte. He got a plane. He don't need no Heisman. He don't need no clutter up.
That's the other thing. What do you don't need any of that because he's got all this money coming in. That's the crazy thing. These guys might just be like, look, I'm gonna play just as good as I need to because I gotta protect my money.
Oh, I said I'd ride the bench. What they playing for elite minimum? I ride the bench. I don't have to do nothing. I'd hold the ball. I'll be a place.
But what's it going to hurt him to throw touchdowns instead of interceptions?
Well, if you're winning, only team he's lost to is Bama.
Let me stop there because we'll be another half hour, and it's my
still winning the games.
So Yeah. So Sean, we appreciate you being on. Colin, I appreciate you, my brother. Always good talking to you, my man.
Hey,
See you
tell
guys.
Mama I said happy anniversary and happy anniversary to yourself. She still got that jacket. That's that cowboy jacket I got her. Remember way
Yes,
back
she
when?
does. Yes, she does.
Okay.
He dipped out. Where'd he go?
I don't know.
He must have dipped out. Anyway, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We gotta go. You guys take care. On behalf of myself, Colin, our guest Sean Spencer, and Reverend Red and Black, we will catch y'all next time. Y'all be good. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.